Guys, what's up? What's up? Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Had a good weekend. I guess it's getting close to being over for a lot of us. Somebody give me a 5 for 5 in there. Make sure everything is cool with the audio and the video. Yeah, maybe it wasn't the most appropriate song, I guess, because that song could be interpreted a whole bunch of different ways. But it's from my childhood, so, teenager, got to represent, you know what I'm saying? Gets people moving, too. It's a good little beat to keep people upbeat, you know what I'm saying? Hope you guys like it. Those that didn't, I apologize. I tried to mix it up, guys. Try to mix it up. Yeah, it's that's one of those songs, guys, that you either love or you hate. Usually depends on what generation you're from. For people that don't know this, that Hysteria record that came from, almost every one of those songs went number one. There was like 10 of them or something on that album and then went number one. Ridiculous. It broke some records back then. I'm not sure if that record still holds or not, but either way, yeah. Who can't like it over 30? Exactly, Bo. Exactly. Okay, but anyway, I am going to go ahead and do the space weather stuff here at the beginning because I don't want to waste anybody's time. But I do want to say thanks to everybody that's been over to the Tommy Scoville show. Give me 1 second here, and I am going to skip over there for a second because I do want to show everybody that channel real quick. You guys know I've been really trying to do my best to get everybody over there because it's such a great thing over there. Anybody that struggles with addiction or anybody that's had somebody that they love that's in addiction and they don't know what to do or anything like that, it is a really good resource. And yeah, it's just awesome. And thank you guys for all those that have already been over there. I think you guys are starting to realize why I sent you there. Anybody that, I've not had so many people come back to tell me that, hey, oh my gosh, thank you for pointing that out because it really does help, guys. He's a real person. He's been through real life stuff and he's trying to help the way that he helped. And I really hope that you guys go over here and give him a subscription. I'm actually going to throw that in the chat here real quick. And again, guys, I'm not going to sit here and burn you guys out with this every video. I just want to mention it real quick because I know it gets kind of old, but I do want to continue to show support over here because if we get 1,000 of us from over here on my channel to go over here and subscribe, I will do that. What I said, I promise. We're getting close to the 500 already, so if we get 500 of us over there, I'll eat a can of pastrami. And if we get 1,000 from over here over to there, I will. I'll put some durian fruit. I'll blend it up in a blender, and I'll put it in a beer hat and drink it. So if you guys want to see me do something extremely stupid, plus get the benefit of all the life knowledge that this man's going to share with you, guys, he robbed banks, he robbed a casino, and he's in a drug addiction. Spent time in jail, 7 years in jail. I'm not going to go through his whole story, but he's got a really real life perspective on addiction and how to do your best to try to stay clean and sober and it is really, I can't tell you that it's almost exactly what I would tell people, and I don't get that from a whole lot because my view on it, just like his, is really unique. I don't hold true to every one system's good for everybody because it doesn't work that way, guys. It just really doesn't. Now, there are some people that it can work for, but, most of the time, if it's going to be long-term success, it's going to take you doing it your way in some way, shape, or form. So, anyway, we're going to skip going past that. But there, if my mods, English only here, guys. I don't know what that was. That was probably, I'm getting that out of here right now. Sorry, whoever that was. If that was a legitimate person, I apologize. The name is not from here, and neither was the language. I get those mods. If you guys see that, I'm sure you guys seen me hide that, right? If you guys see that in there, immediately get rid of that stuff, because some of that stuff, believe it or not, is like porn sites and things like that. I'm not saying that one was. I just don't know. But with the name and everything, they come in like that. Typically it's somebody that's trying to do that kind of thing. So, also guys, if you ever see something in the comment section that has like just a link, and it's kind of a short link, like H572444 or something, don't click on it. Okay? It's most likely a porno site, and when I see them, I immediately get rid of them. So if there's nothing there, but especially if it just says hi and then a little link like that, do not, absolutely do not click on that, okay? That's a good way to get a bunch of crap on your computer you don't want, or your phone. So anyway, and when I see them, unfortunately nobody can help me get rid of comments. Like, I got moderators here in the chat. In the comment section, it doesn't work like that. I would have to give somebody admin privileges. And that's a lot of responsibility on both sides of that, and I wouldn't put that on nobody. I just wouldn't do that to somebody. So I try to take that on myself to get rid of stuff like that. But anyway, we'll move on from that. But yeah, thank you guys. And mods in there, if you guys see that, please just get that stuff out of there like right now. And if it's somebody that's real and they just actually made a mistake there, please email me. My email's in the description. Email me. I will unblock you and let you know, hey, English only here. Okay? I hate to say it like that, but that's how it has to be, I guess. Anyway, okay. So with the space weather guys, the Schumann here, definitely, pretty quiet conditions, ambient conditions most of the time. And then we had this right here on the end. And again, remember, this tool's in Russia. There was a little bit of an uptick here. So whatever happened over there, guys, a thunderstorm in the local area can cause this tool to do that. Okay? So just because we see it on the Russia tool does not mean it's a global thing. I want to stress that. Okay? We've had instances where there's been snow on the detector of this thing and caused this thing to look like it was just going nuts. So we have to 100% keep that in mind when we're talking about this, okay, guys? We really have to know that. So please understand that. I can't stress it enough. I did not used to know that, and that's something I had to learn, and that's why I've made mistakes so much on this and on a lot of other things, guys. I leave my mistakes there. So go look at them, learn from my mistakes, don't make the same ones. You know what I'm saying? I leave them on the net for that reason only. Go back, and this is another one I'm going to talk about here in a second. But as far as your Schumann goes, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and touch on that one real quick too. Let's here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and check out this stuff on Siege real quick. Okay, now this is back on the 21st. Okay, we got 21st, 22nd data here, and there was quite a few eruptions, especially on like the 20th into the 21st. It's all coming from that side of the sun. Well, what was causing all this stuff that was behind the limb is now in front, facing us. Okay, so that's what we're going to have to pay attention to. And it has been flaring. It just hasn't had big eruptions with the flares. That's another distinction I want people to understand. Okay? Just because there's a flare does not mean that there is a CME or a bunch of plasma that gets ejected with that flare. Okay? A flare, the main part of a flare typically is the X-ray production that it puts out with the initial blast. And guess what? That stuff's moving at the speed of light. It's here and gone in 8 minutes. There's no me seeing a flare, getting online and telling everybody before it gets here. It ain't going to happen. Now, the CME that could possibly be with it is what we would be talking about, or radiation storms, which is basically it's an increase in protons, and we can talk about that in more depth later. But this is today, and as you can see here, guys, we had a high latitude eruption. You watch this right here. You see that little eruption right there? Now that happened right in an area of the sun that was didn't even look like it had any kind of active areas going on. much like the one that happened early on. Now, this one did fire that direction. It was pretty almost polar. We don't see these very often, okay? And that's why I'm pointing it out. It ain't coming at us, but pages are not up here. Okay, hold on. Can you guys hear me? I'm still on my intro. Okay, hold on. Sorry. You guys good now? Crap. Where'd you guys see me at? Did you guys hear all that, or did you guys? Okay. Sorry. I must have hit a button or something. I don't know what the heck I did there. Sorry about that. Audio was good? Okay. Well, I'm not going to skip back and go to the back to all that again. I'll just go over it this way. Sorry about that, guys. I appreciate you screaming at me in the chat there. Thank you. Anybody that did see that, or at least we didn't miss too much here. Because I really didn't show you much more than the Schumann. There's what the Schumann looks like. Okay. And then I went over here to seeds. That's really where I ended. So, but anyway, I guess I could back that up real quick. That was yesterday. Quite a few over here on the left. And then today, we had this one down here. Okay. That was high latitude. All right. So what I mean by that is it's closer to the poles. And it did look to fire. It was like right in the middle as far as vertical, right? But it did look to fire to the south, like down, if you want to use those words. But this is something we don't typically see a whole lot of. My guess is we're going to see more and more as we move into, solar maximum, but that's going to be what it is, right? So, but I did want to show you guys that. Now, I want to point something out. This is on SOHO. This is a satellite that sits right out in front of the Earth, always looking at the sun, right? And it's about a million miles closer to the sun than what we are. Now, I used to make a pretty big deal about missing time, right? Now, what I want to point out, especially about this one particular site, is the fact that most of the time, the data is there, okay? And I didn't know this until a while back. I'm talking like 6 months ago. You got to go around to the other sites and look to see if the data's there, unless you know where to go get. And there is I know there's a place you can go just to get the straight data. The data's there, okay? Unfortunately, these guys that run the SOHO, it's been out there long enough. I think what they're doing is they're like cutting their budget back, and they're only working 9 to 5, 5 days a week or 7 days, whatever it is. They're working a regular schedule. So what happens is they have to come back in and update it. That's just what it is. But even with that said, you can still go see the other data. It's always there. You just got to know where to go look. So when somebody's trying to just blow it way out of proportion about missing an hour or two, you really got to know, if you're going to say that it's missing data, please make sure that you're right. That's all I'm saying. I don't need to point out names. I don't care who's doing it. That's not why I'm here. I'm just trying to help you guys understand that when somebody says that and they don't show you more than 1 or 2 different sites missing that data, you might want to look into it yourself. That's all I'm saying. Okay? I'm going to stop with that. But anyway, as you can tell here right now, it's got all the data on there. And that's just what it is. So let me back up here a little bit. We will go to stereo A real quick. Now remember, that's our front view, right? So if I back it up again, if I back up enough, you got, this is stereo A, right? The satellite's here. Earth's over here. So nothing really much coming at us right now, but I do want to show you guys here in just a minute that filament. But before we get there, here's the flaring. Okay, there's quite a few flares. Now they're small. All right, this one here was a C1, I believe. I think that, but that's probably the biggest one that we've seen. That was my thumbnail. If you guys seen that thumbnail, that's what you've seen. It was there on the left. But you know, even with the C flare, sometimes you can get big eruptions even without flares, guys. But there wasn't really much eruption with that. That's why I didn't like jump on here real quick and start screaming, right? As you can see here with their forecasting, they got 4.4 over here for the KP on the end of the day on the 24th. So we are expecting an increase in solar wind, and that was from a coronal hole. Right now, conditions are so low, if they continue like this, we'll have to be talking about cosmic rays. You know, if it stays like this for any extended period of time, we need some of that stuff to help block some of those cosmic rays. Cosmic rays is radiation, guys. I mean, that's a simple way to put it. Very simple way to put it. It becomes radiation through actually a pretty complex system that it has to go through. You know, a little road it has to go down. But by the time it would get to us, it would be radiation. And that's why we're concerned about it when we do talk about it. But this is that coronal hole that's going to be giving us that uptick. Okay? Now notice this one here is like just opened up like right here. Not you know, just a few hours ago that one opened up, so we're probably connected to that already, I would assume. And this one even also maybe even this one. Whenever they're like right in the middle vertically, we can connect to these things. They don't have to be right equatorial. Okay? Notice that a lot of our coronal hole activity that we get are from the northern and southern coronal holes that are always there. And we connect to that when the bigger part of it comes around, and you know, when it does open up just a little bit, it doesn't have to be down here, is what I'm saying. We can connect to that. Now here's that spot that we're talking about being active, and you can kind of see this filament right here on this particular angstrom. And when we're talking about, I think this is the 195 on Go 16. Yeah, 195. Now when I show you the other orange view or what have you, it will be 193. It's close, okay? So anyway, what I'm saying is, when I show you the 304, this filament will show up really well. And it does look like it's either starting to collapse or become unstable, and it might snap off. Now with it being right here, if it does do something like that, we're going to definitely have to pay attention to it. Okay, so here's that sunspot. Now this is visible light on the sun. And you can see, whenever I show you guys this, you know that this is actually pretty sizable. So if I was to click down into that and show it to you, you guys can do that if you want to over at Space Weather Prediction Center. Okay, this site here. Links are everywhere. You guys can see that. But you could fit, oh God, I would say 4 or 5 Earths in that, just straight across probably. And I know it seems like a bunch, but it's not. If you filled the sun up, we're talking million Earths. Okay, it's a bunch. So that's the size that we're talking about here. Now on the Enlil spiral, this does show the uptick. Okay, see that? Now remember, it's 2 days historic data, and then they forecast 5 days out in advance if they're keeping it updated. Sometimes they kind of lag behind a little bit themselves, but not typically. Typically, they're pretty much on it. But, you know, guys, I've learned that we really can't really trust this model out that far. It always changes, and that's fine. I get it, okay? Because just like your local on the 8s, we have to understand that when conditions change, you got to change with it. And it's not always going to be 100% correct. And at least when it gets here, we have a better shot of being correct. So at least we get a day or two that we can pretty much trust what this thing is saying. Okay? You can definitely see a sharp uptick right here from about 300 to 500. That would be from probably coronal hole action or whatever. But they're saying a big sharp increase in speed. So that definitely would be a pretty decent uptick there, guys. So let's go on to the next one here. Discover data. And again, I've noticed something here too. When our solar wind speed starts hanging out low, and that's what it's doing right now, okay? If we look at the wind speed right now, we're looking at 300 to even below, okay? 200s. So we know 3 to 500 is what we consider normal. Now, it's really close to the bottom end of normal. I get it, okay? And notice what happens when that happens. You see the density? What's it doing? It's going up, right? It was like a steady uptick as this was steadily going down. The reason why is that the wind speed isn't moving fast enough to flush out some of those particles. So it becomes more dense. That's what happens. So this is what I'm saying. We're not taking any kind of geomagnetic hit, but yet our density is high. So it takes something. Now, when we get the initial, a lot of times what we see is when this happens and we hang out like this for a minute, and then what happens is the first coronal hole stream we see after this, it almost acts like a wave, and it kind of builds up in front, and then it'll give you a pretty good smack right at the beginning of it, okay? Because you got fast wind pushing out these denser particles now, and they start to build up even more. And then when they actually hit our magnetic field, it gives us a pretty good jolt a lot of times. And my guess is that's probably what we're seeing with this, okay? But again, that's just my opinion. Judging by what I've seen in my observation, whether or not that materializes, we'll wait and see, and I'll keep you updated. But as the BZ guys, something else too. Typically, when our speed goes down, everything becomes kind of ambient conditions. The BZ will usually hang out right around 0. It just really does. Usually, if things are getting moved around and stuff like that, we get to the -6, what we look for, right? Usually we've got other solar weather happening. So that's what I would say. Now with this, the phi angle guys, it did flip. It flipped a couple times actually. We didn't really take any kind of big hits or anything on our magnetic field when it did that. So again, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. All these conditions, I think everybody's probably starting to realize, including myself, it takes quite a few conditions to come together at the same time for our magnetic field to have issues fending it off. Okay? So when we see these multiple things come together at the same time, that's what we look for. Now, I'm not saying that one condition itself can't give us a quick little smack, because it can. We've all seen it. But if we're talking about a ongoing kind of event or a bigger type of event, typically it's going to be all these things hitting us at the same time. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, I hope everybody that's living out on the East Coast is doing okay. I'm going to show you guys something really, really interesting here, too, in just a second, about that hurricane. Somebody sent me a video, and I want to show it to you guys because it's interesting. I've not ever seen anything like it, just to be honest. But anyway, okay, so we'll go over here to ISWA. And again, remember, ISWA just is not MagnetoPause tools. Okay, it's got all these tools. I've explained that 100 times. But anyway, you can see, and this is just a better look at what we're talking about, right? So, right about, if you look here, I'm going to zoom in, guys. That way we can, I can show you at least the filament part of it. On the 304, that's really what I want to show you. Okay, so I'm going to go straight to that. That way it's right here. You see this? Now, this was that same one that was over here that was acting all big and macho over here, right? And we talked about it because, at any given time if that thing snapped off, it could launch plasma into space, whatever direction that it snapped off on. If you see this, I'm sure you guys can see the shadow here a little bit. It might be hard to see. I get it. Matter of fact, let me try to zoom in just a little bit more, see if I can't get you a better look there. Okay, this might be a little better. You see it moving around right here? You can actually see a connection here. Watch, it'll get bright like sparkle here and here where it's connected. And I noticed that earlier today. It's like some of that plasma actually went from one side to the other. You've seen it travel. But it's starting to collapse right here in the middle from what I can see. If that collapses, it may collapse back down onto the surface. It does that sometimes. Well, quite a few times, actually. But if it decides it wants to become unstable and something wants to, disturb it, if it snaps, that thing's probably going to come right at us. So that's why I'm mentioning it. Okay, it is a large one. That thing is standing up off the sun's surface a good distance. Okay, here's the sun's surface where it's connected right here where my arrow is, and over here. But yet the top of it's up here. That should tell you how far it's standing up over top of the sun. Okay, we're no longer talking 10 Earths high. Way more than that. Okay, that thing is standing way up. And that's why I'm saying, and I've seen some instability like right here in the middle of this filament. And when I seen that, I was like, is it starting to snap or is it getting ready to collapse down? So we'll just have to wait and watch. Okay, there's nothing we can do one way or the other, but doesn't mean we don't watch, because that's what we do. That's all we can do, really. And if something does happen, I'll pop on here and let you guys know, obviously. Now, aurora with geomagnetic activity, we're not going to see much. Okay. And then let's go here. That's north side, north pole, nothing there. Okay. So let me go ahead and go here to geoelectric field. This is space weather's effect on our electrical system. Unnatural electrical components like our grid. And you're not going to see much. Okay, there's just not much to see. So I'm not going to waste your guys' time with that. Spaceweather.com, guys, go give these guys some love. I believe his name is, I think it's Dr. Phillips is his name, I believe. If I'm wrong on that, I'll correct myself next time. I need to go look who runs this. But they do a great job. That's all I can say. It really, honestly. I get a lot of great info over here, and I encourage everybody to go over here and check it out. So, but anyway, as you can tell here, guys, they're showing this sunspot. It says it's already produced 6 C-class flares. Okay, so that tells you right there stuff is active. And listen, guys, we had that one I showed you that was on the south part of the sun. Listen, man, that was high latitude, and it came out of nowhere. There wasn't even nothing there. It just decided to do it. So what I'm saying is the sun will do things whenever it wants. That's simple. Notice how our fireball reports have dropped down to virtually nothing because we're out of the meteor shower. Okay? So that right there shows you what I mean. When we get into a meteor shower, this number will go up. It's just a fact. It's not ever going to be any different. But anyway, noctilucent clouds. This season is starting to wind down. I've been talking about this. Probably what we'll see is we're seeing a moderation in temperatures, and that's why you're not seeing all the water vapor, right? That's what happens. The water vapor gets up there, freezes around the meteor dust, makes these blue metallic clouds around our poles. Sometimes we see them further down, and that points to, hey, we're seeing some different conditions here we need to talk about, right? Well, as we get closer and closer to the fall equinox, you're going to see these things slowly go away. We may even see them go away, and sometimes we'll see them come back for a very short period of time. But then, as we move into the winter solstice, for the northern hemisphere, it's summer solstice for the southern hemisphere. We'll start seeing these in the southern hemisphere pole, okay? So I just wanted to point that out. That's what they look like right now. It's not too much. It's starting to dwindle down. I would guess here the next week or two, we probably won't even see any. Maybe within the week. Who knows? Okay? But I did want to point that out. Near-Earth objects, not really much to talk about, guys. Nothing new here. Nothing real close. If they're close, if you guys go over here, they will add this right here. You see this red, this different color? And if they're really close, they even put the darker red in there. So this is lunar distance, the distance between us and the moon. Now, I do want to point out this one. This one is a big one. Okay, 655 meters in diameter. That's pretty large, and it's moving fast. If you look at this, I think it's the fastest one on the sheet right now. It is. 26.2 kilometers per second. That's moving pretty good, guys. Okay? But it's 8.9 lunar distance. Almost 9 times the distance between us and the moon. which is roughly 200, and I'm just going to call it 240,000 miles. You take that times 9. Well, if you take it times 10, that's what? 2 million? 2.4 million? So if you take it times 9, what are we looking at there, right? I mean, probably close to 2 million miles away. That's a pretty good distance. They're calling it a near-Earth object because when you look at the vastness of space, that's what they're comparing it to. Okay? So that's what they're showing you there. Now with earthquakes, guys, listen, this is something that, again, guys, I am not the expert when it comes to earthquakes. You guys know this. I'm getting a little bit more comfortable talking about it, but I am not going to sit here and try to say I know anything more than what anybody else could say. I mean, honestly. But I'm going to show them to you because I do think it's important to see. Notice down here in the Sandwich Islands again. We are now getting big ones again down here. We got one yesterday too. It was pretty sizable. That one there is a 7.1. Now we know those are big, right? That one there was a 5. There was a 6.9 over here too. That's off of the graph right now because it was more than 24 hours ago. Hey Tom, what's up? Have any associated space with it? Nope, it didn't, Tom. Not at all. And that's what I was trying to tell you guys. You know, with the space weather being really, really quiet right now, there's absolutely no way we can sit here and try to say that space weather had anything to do with this. Unless it has something to do with some sort of a circuit and how, you know, I'm not going to get into that. It's just so much to talk about there. But we are, I think the Jupiter alignment is right now too. So that does affect things. Okay, we have to understand that planetary alignment affects a lot of things. And you know, I know we don't talk about that a whole lot here, but it is a fact. That's something that does happen. Planetary alignment does matter. You know, with space weather and with earthquakes. And that's what I try to tell people. It really, really, everything has to come together sometimes. Working for That's awesome, Vance. That's a good movie, by the way. Most people, well, anybody over, 30 probably knows what that movie is. Gone with the Wind. Well, even the younger people probably know the title. But they probably never seen it. Probably never took the time. It's a good movie. Everybody should go check it out. But yeah, so, you know, guys, something I've noticed with these ones down here in the Sandwich Islands, the aftershocks have been really, really substantial. I mean, honestly, you know, typically when we see these aftershocks, they're not usually always above 5. I mean, we've seen so many 5s after the initial shake over here last week. It was nuts. I'd never seen nothing like it, personally, okay? And I didn't come out and say that because I didn't want to say something that was just, like, over the top. But at the same time, you know, I did mention it. Hey, we're getting a bunch of high aftershocks on that one. And that is different. That is different what we usually see. Usually when we see the aftershocks, we're over here clicking on the all magnitudes so we can see below 2.5. As soon as I did that, you seen what happened to the map, right? It lit up a little bit because there's a lot more on here. Now, I will have to say, if we go over here and we look at this, it's only 317 earthquakes, all earthquakes, that they're plotting right now, anyway, USGS, for the last 24 hours. Okay, that's not that big of a number. But something else I've noticed, and I'm not sure if anybody else has talked about this, I'm noticing we're seeing these, like, this size of an earthquake, I think it's like a 4, close to it. Yeah. Anywhere between a 4 and a 5. We're seeing quite a few of those planet-wide, almost like in a very, very sequential, spaced-out manner. I don't know if that... Now, they are all hanging around the plate boundary lines, and I guess it could because of all the massive shaking we're getting down here, and it was continuous. Okay? We had that big one last week. It was an 8.1 and a 7.9 down there. Obviously, you know, that's what USGS was plotting it at. So, given that, you know, and then it just continued. So I would assume that this energy would just flow right on through, man. I mean, it has to. It's got to go somewhere. It can't stop unless something stops it. So that's the whole point, you know. it's that's the very basic of what we talk about, But yeah, so, oh man. Poles flipping. Let me see in here. Did I see that? Somebody talking about pole flip. What's my take on that? On pole flipping? Well, I think that is a natural progression that we see. Do I think we're in the midst of one? I think that the data definitely points towards, at the very least, a magnetic excursion. Okay? I mean, I'm talking like at the very least. We could be in a full-blown magnetic flip. I don't know. All I can tell you is that our poles are moving. Okay? North Pole, South Pole. They're not staying in the same place. Magnetic poles, guys. Okay? I'm not talking about geographic pole. I'm talking about magnetic. So, yes, I do think that we are in some sort of movement there. Whatever the end of the day ends up being, for us, I don't know that it's going to matter much if it's one or the other. Because I think that a lot of that it's going to be the same. How can I say this? The same result for what we are going to see is probably going to be the same. Whether it's a magnetic excursion or whether it's a full magnetic flip. Because that's what would happen. I mean, it's essentially, a magnetic excursion is essentially just a smaller flip. I don't like to use the word smaller there because it's really not about size. But at the same time, it definitely is something that, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. Oh, man. But yeah, I don't know what actually happens, but if that does happen, don't know. Have to wait and see. I think we'll all know it when it does. I don't think there's going to be any hiding it. That's for daggone sure. Yeah, roly-poly for sure. You're right, Wolfie. Roly-poly. Okay, so let me show you this, yeah. Let me get this up here. Let me, I'm not sure what that's showing right now. Okay, let me, well, let's do this. Let's bring that up. I want to show you guys let's see here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Y'all see that, right? Hopefully you do. Now, you guys see what I'm showing you there? That's the hurricane a couple days ago. Somebody sent me this video. Now, what I want you guys to look at is right in the middle. Okay? Let me, I'm not sure if I can, let's maximize that. I'm not really sure why. I'm having problems seeing it on my end, but it's okay. I can still see it. But if you guys look, watch how it explodes, like right there. See that? And then it really explodes off to the left. See that second? So you'll see it up to the right, and then you'll see a secondary one very shortly there, right there. I don't have any clue what's causing that. Just so you guys know. I've never seen that before. That looked to be, and that's just in the normal speed that you would play a satellite replay back. That's from DexLab, okay? It's really strange. I've never seen nothing like that. So, and I know that, because I don't want to go into all that. Yeah, I know, Wolfie, I didn't want to go into all that, and I'm not going to go into that big discussion right now. But I understand all that, okay? And that's what I'm saying is the fact that, if that second surge of energy had happened in the same place as the first one, I wouldn't even be showing you guys this, okay? But the fact that it moved that far, because I could see the eye, I've seen eyes of hurricanes, do their little cycle that they do that quick. But I've never seen the eye of a hurricane move that far and do that kind of an intense energy surge. I've never personally seen it. Now, I'm not saying that ain't never happened. I'm just saying my own observation, and I'm not trying to claim anything here. I'm showing you this because somebody sent it to me and wanted me to share it with you guys. That's why. And it's interesting. It is interesting. I just don't know what it is. It could be a natural cycle of what's going on here, or it could be something different. I don't know. When it did that secondary eruption there, is what I'm going to call it. It did cycle through real fast. You could see it go out in all directions equally, which in my opinion is actually strange too. Okay, this thing is spinning counterclockwise. So for energy to go out in all directions at the same time, to me it should have been spinning some way, and it's not. It is a little as it gets further and further up, but it's not doing it as fast as what I would think that it should. So I don't know. I could be completely off on this, guys. I just wanted to show it to you. I just wanted to show it because it's so interesting. It's so, it is one of those things where it's like the center of it was here, then all of a sudden it's over here. It's like, what in the world is going on? But I just wanted to show that to you. I hope you guys find that interesting. They also asked me, why do hurricanes spin the way that they do? Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because I've talked about that for a minute before, and I continually get questions on this, and that's fine. It really is. It's fine. I just really want to put this one to bed, because I want you guys to all understand it to a level that everybody can be on the same page. You know what I mean? So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to windy.com. Okay? I encourage everybody to go over here too. These guys do a great job over here at this site too. It just is very useful. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys something first. All right? So I'm going to go over here to where the hurricane's at. All right? So the hurricane's over here right now. When it was off here, and it doesn't really matter what I'm getting ready to show you. I want you guys to look. Okay, you see these other storms? They're spinning, right? This one's spinning counterclockwise, right? And this one here, this storm system, we're going to call it a storm system for right now, and we'll correct ourselves here in a second. But this one's spinning to the right. So I get a lot of questions. How can you get one spinning to the right and then one spinning to the left right next to each other? Well, what happens is, I for the life of me, I don't know where somebody's telling at least a few people, because they're emailing me, that we shouldn't be seeing, storm systems spinning in opposite directions. That's just simply not true, guys. It's basic weather 101. It really is. This is something you learn very early on in science class at school. And what I'm saying is, I'm not saying everybody should remember it, because for God's sake, I know I don't remember everything. But what I'm saying is that this has been the case since day one. In the northern hemisphere, a low pressure system, watch. I'm going to turn pressure on. Notice how there are no L's and H's on here. And I think this is what's happening. I think somebody's looking at this map and they're not putting the pressure on. You see that? You see what happened? Okay? The high pressure in the northern hemisphere is spinning clockwise. Low pressure spins counterclockwise. Both of these are low pressure. They're spinning counterclockwise. The high pressure, every high pressure and every low pressure you see on this map right now, the low pressure ones are going to spin the exact same direction as the other low pressure in the same hemisphere. Okay, so if we go to the southern hemisphere, what are we going to see? It's going to be the opposite. Lo and behold, it's the opposite. Okay, So please understand that. And a lot of times, some of the biggest winds you will experience is because the low and high pressure get close to each other, and it causes these gradient lines to get pushed closer and closer together. And it's like standing in between two big buildings in a big city. You know how that wind just like woof rushes through there? That's the same thing. So why does it do that? Well, because low pressure and high pressure, that's exactly what causes wind anyway. High pressure running in to follow the low pressure. Okay? So when it's doing that, and because we rotate, it causes that spin in opposite directions in opposite hemispheres. So that's, yeah. But yeah, so we're just going to leave it at that. Yeah, let's not, yeah, guys, we know we don't talk about other people here in the chat. Whatever channel it is, I don't care who it is. Yeah, please don't. I don't. I just seen a few names popping up there. Let's, I know it wasn't, I'm not sure, I didn't go back and read it. I just now seen it, but, let's, yeah. But yeah. So, yeah, let's just, yeah, cool. No, you're good, guys. It's all good. No, listen, I don't care if you guys talk about, the subject matter that people talk about there. I just don't like the fact that when we get people's names in there, it always causes issue. That's all. That's the only reason why. I can tell you right now that I can agree or disagree with anybody. Just like they're going to agree or disagree with me. It doesn't mean I don't like them. It doesn't mean I don't watch their channel. It doesn't mean that now there are going to be, and that unfortunately there's going to be those people out there that all their channel becomes is bashing other people. And it's unfortunate. And when I say bashing, what I'm talking about is it's like they go back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you know what happens? A lot of times when they're doing it, then it gets personal. Once it gets personal, there's no more science involved. So why are they even talking? It makes no sense at all, period. You want to have a high school fight like that, go do it on the phone somewhere. Don't make everybody watch it. You know what I mean? Just doesn't make any sense to me, guys. So I'll just leave it at that. And again, I'm not pointing out any particular channels because I don't really care. Honestly, this is a drama-free zone. You guys know that, and I hold true to that. And my mods and the people here, you guys are awesome. You guys really do. You guys do a great job. And even the people that want to fight and stuff, they come here too. And they talk, but guess what? They're talking about the subject matter. They're not, because they know I won't allow it. And I think that's a good thing because I don't take their voice away. I don't ban everybody. I don't do any of that kind of crap. You guys know that. So I want everybody to have a voice, even if I don't agree with it. And I hope you guys appreciate that. Because I guarantee you one of these days, you're not going to agree with what I say, or I'm not going to agree with what you say. Doesn't mean we have to hate or even dislike each other. It's just what it is, And we're so geared in today's world to just, everything's so polarized, with lack of a better term. So, anyway. But yeah, so to go back to this real quick, just to clarify, a low pressure system will spin counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere. If somebody shows you this map and says, hey, these storm systems, I don't know, like I said, guys, I have no clue who's doing this. Really wish I guess I really don't really care, to be honest. I just want to correct it, and hopefully you guys can see that I'm correcting it the right way. But if somebody shows you this map, and it doesn't have the low and high pressure on here, ask them to turn it on. And then explain to them what I just explained to you. And hopefully that'll stop. I mean, that's just honestly what it is. Yeah, Coriolis has something to do with it. You're right, Russ. It does. Hey, Jerry, what's up? Yeah, Jerry, that doesn't happen enough, does it? And I agree. I really do. If they would, now I will say this. Sometimes people do try to handle it in the background and then it blows up to something. But at the end of the day, guys, and I have to tell you something right here. I've caught myself watching other people's channel just to see what they had to say about somebody else. Not about the science, not about the space weather, not about what the videos are supposed to be like on their channel, but because of the fight that they were having with somebody else. And there are drama channels out there, but these channels are not that. I caught myself doing that. And the second I caught myself doing that, I was like, are you kidding me? So I know other people are doing it. So I had to stop. And it just, yeah. Oh, you were saying something about you were sick. Or got hurt or something. I can't remember what you said, Jerry, when you 2 weeks in the hospital. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Wow, that's horrible, man. Yeah, Verte knows exactly what he's talking about with the Schumann, Ricky. For sure. Yeah, Mellow Mom, for real. I mean, honestly, that's what it is. And don't get me wrong, guys. I mean, I would be sitting here lying straight to your guys' face if I didn't say I didn't like to go to like a drama channel and look and watch and be entertained for a minute. But that's what that channel's for. Okay? They call themselves drama channels or quote unquote T channel. Right? So when you go there, that's what you're going to hear. It's not like going to a space weather channel or a whatever information you're looking at and then seeing a bunch of infighting and everybody just back and forth. I mean, it just, wow. And like I said, I got caught in that too. I really did for a minute. I was like watching people. And it was people in our community. I quit doing it. I won't be a part of it at all, period. So, anybody that's listening to me that wants to like try to bring that into my chat and stuff, like I said, it doesn't happen. And for the most part, people respect that, okay? I've not really had anybody like come in here and just go all crazy. And, I've had it a couple times. It's going to happen. We get that, right? I mean, it's just what it is. But for the most part, most people have been very, very respectful of that. And for those out there, and don't get me wrong. Hey, what's up, Mark? Made it through, huh? I seen that thing kind of missed you a little bit. You just now get here, Mark? I'll show everybody that video again. You guys want to see that hurricane video again real quick? I'll show that to you guys again real quick. I'm sure Mark wants to see it. I guarantee you Mark wants to see this one. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, check this out, Mark. This is a couple days before it came in land. And if you look to the top right, you'll see like an initial, ice starting to form. And then you'll see like a blast down to the left. Watch it, right there. It's crazy. I ain't never seen nothing like it. I don't know what it is. I don't. So, if anybody ain't been over to Mark's channel, y'all need to do that. Please, please, please. Positivity all the time over there. I'm there every night, guys. I might not talk all the time, but I'm there every night. So, y'all need to do that. We go over there and have a great time in the chat. But yeah, Mark, I don't know what you think about that. That's definitely a crazy looking little thing. Somebody sent me that. I was like, whoa, what is that? I've never seen it before. So, I don't know what to tell anybody what it is. I have no clue. I'm not even going to attempt it because I guarantee you there's so many different, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't even know what it is. So, yeah. But you got, what do you got here? I don't know. I don't know. How many times am I going to say it tonight? Somebody smack me in the face. Would you? Please? Please wake me up. Yeah, Omni, for sure. Little burst. I'm glad you missed that though, Mark. I really am. That's a hard thing, man. I'm glad that didn't hit you head on. I heard you saying you guys that you didn't see much wind or anything. That's a great thing. It could have been pretty bad from what I heard. But yeah. Hey, yeah, like I said, guys, you guys want to see me do something real stupid? Get your butts over to the Tommy Scoville show. Anybody hadn't heard me talk about that yet, you guys need to get over there. Well, right here. Here's his channel. Let me copy the link real quick, and I will put it in the side chat here. Guys, you know, like I said, guys, you guys know, most of you guys know my story. I fought a pill addiction for, quite some time, and because of my family and because of all the things involved, I've been sober for 10 years. I've been one of the very few that have never relapsed, and the main reason is because of my family. And Tommy talks about addiction and recovery the exact way that I would. That's the easiest way I can say it. But like I said, he just started his channel about not even a month ago, I don't think. And between him and his brother, me, and others kind of trying to help him along, because it's such an important thing to me, because it personally involves what I've been through. And I connect it in a different level than what a lot would. But if anybody is going through those kinds of things, please come over here. That's what the conversation is. It's very, very, very important stuff for me, personally. So if you guys want to see me do something real stupid, we're getting close to that 500 sub one over there from my channel. If you guys want to see me eat that pastrami, I will. It's rotten fish, just so everybody knows, in a can. It's a Swedish thing. And I told everybody if 1,000 people would go over there from my channel, I would put some durian fruit in a blender with it, blend it up, put it in a beer hat, and drink it. I'll do it live. I promise I won't puke on screen or nothing like that. If I have to do something like that, I'll go off screen. But it is, yeah. Well, him and his brother Johnny did a right here, guys. Look. That's the best way for me to explain to you what it is. Right here. That's the can. So I'm going to encourage everybody to go over and check out this video, number one, because they eat that thing right here in front of you. It's something crazy. They actually, guys, they went to the Salvation Army and bought these shirts. You want to know why? Because if you get it on your clothes, you can't get the smell out. That's how bad this stuff is. Not even kidding. When Johnny first ate this, Johnny's channel is called Chase the Heat. I would encourage everybody to go over there too. That's how I found Tommy. So he does a pepper channel. He eats pods. He's a legend in the pepper community. He eats super hot. And all a bunch of other stuff. Look at him ducking and weaving. See that? See it squirt? That cracked me up, man. They're like, oh no. Look at his face. Look, watch. It cracks me up every time. God, it cracks me up. But yeah, so please go over here, guys. I know I'm saying it a lot, but when I get behind somebody, I get behind them 100%. Ask Mark. Mark knows. Mark will tell you. I'm behind him 100%, and it just doesn't change. Sorry. And again, guys, like I said, that's why I put the timestamp in the on the thumbnail and in the description. I'm going to do that every video, by the way, guys. Oh, you guys only see the hurricane? Daggone it. Are you serious? Oh, I forgot to push the button. Wow. Okay. Sorry. I did that twice now today. Daggone it. Okay, we'll watch it again. Hold on. Wow. Mark, you crazy stinking... Pay attention to what you're doing. Watch this, guys. I'm going to play this part of it. Watch what he does. Watch his face. This is so stinking nasty. See it squirt? I'm going to laugh again. Watch when he goes to smell it. It's hysterical. Love it, love it, love it. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. I really am. I've done that twice this video. But anyway, I really do want you guys to go over here and give him a sub. I get my people that are positive and people that are doing good things, I get behind 100%. And both of these men are. And again, I think both of them are in my description right now. I leave them there. Him and Mark and everybody else I support. They're down there. Always. So, I would appreciate it. And I know Johnny and Tommy both would too. You know, Johnny does a really, really good pepper channel, and he's been doing it for years now. He's got a little over 100,000 subs. I was like his 200 and some sub. And it's amazing how this world, whatever you want to call it, God, the world, whatever you want to say, it's amazing how it works because, really, honestly, you know, how do I find somebody I connect with in such a way that, you know, with the addiction, through a pepper channel, years later? It is, yeah. And here's the thing, guys. You guys ever have problems with that? I've talked to quite a few of you guys, and I don't point people out. I don't say people's names unless they want me to. I've talked to quite a few people in the background that have the same issue with me and have been comfortable enough, even with me not even running an addiction channel. I've been able to help people get to the right people, at least to get initial help. And if you guys are feeling that way, you guys always have an avenue in my email, okay? Just know that. But what I want to say, all you guys got to do, if you guys come over here to Tommy's channel, well, let me show you Johnny's channel real quick first, before I forget. You guys will have, this guy ate super hots super hot pods as he was skydiving. How cool is that? I mean, that's just some cool stuff right there. It's fun. He posts like 3 times a day eating pods and doing all kinds of stuff. He's got the Tube of Terror that he came up with, his company, and a lot of other things. I mean, League of Fire he's part of. He's, you know, that's like world rankings for people that eat hot stuff. It's really cool stuff, guys. So you would definitely be entertained going over here. Plus, he's a great guy. So his videos are usually 10 minutes or less, which I know a lot of people appreciate, including myself. But I can't really say much more about that other than that, right? So, you know, but over here on Tommy's channel, telling you guys, all you got to do is go over here and get down here in this comment sections. Well, let's go here. Let's do this one. We'll pause it. Look at this. I want you guys to notice something. A lot of you guys, well, there's Siggy. See? Siggy's over there. See? Am I doing that again? What in the heck is going on? You guys don't see nothing? You guys got video? Somebody give me an audio and a video check there, please. 5 for 5. Any of it? Oh, I'm good? Okay. Just making sure. It's funny that I ran into Sig's comment. This is over on Tommy's channel, guys. Notice what's going on here. Do you see the comment section? Okay, there's Rampage. Look, there is not one comment here that is not having multiple replies. They're not all from Tommy. Okay, that one just had the one. Let's go to one that had a bunch. Here's 4. There's Verte, Tommy, Sig. I mean, we're having conversations over here. That's what I'm trying to say. It's people are getting help. And it doesn't have to be like all serious all the time. That's not my point. My point is that if you need help, if you don't know where else to go, I have a very strong family support system, guys. Not everybody has that. If you don't have a family, if you don't have family support, you can contact me in the email. I'll do the best I can. But what I want to say is this has become an immediate family when it comes to these kinds of conversations. I mean, immediate. It wasn't even it was amazing just to watch. Okay? Honestly, that quick. And so, yeah, addiction third in line, 100%. Yeah, it's and guys, he's got a take on it. The guy has been to jail. He was in jail for like 7 years. The guy robbed banks. He robbed a casino. I mean, how much more? I mean, not only are we talking about addiction, but it's mainly there to help, but it's also entertaining, because I think he realizes that it has to be entertaining in some way, or people don't stay, right? I mean, I think we all can agree to that. Most people. If it doesn't entertain you or help you in some way, you're not going to stay. I could get on here every day and give you 2 seconds, a 5-second, bam, 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 data, 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 data. Who's gonna stick around for that? Nobody. Just not gonna happen. I built connections with you guys, and that's what I wanted from the beginning. Not only are we learning about space weather, but we're able to talk about stuff like this. And that's big to me. If you guys look at my demographics are almost 50-50 men, women. You don't see that on other channels. Especially science channels. And I'm not being stereotypical here, it's just a fact. Most science channels don't have a very high amount of women watching. They get like 25 to 30% typically. I am glad that I have that 50-50, because that means that I'm touching more people. It means I'm connecting with more people. Other than just the normal people that wouldn't have any idea at all about space weather. I'm not saying I'm some sort of whatever. I'm not educated, through college by doing this. I've learned through making mistakes and what everybody's taught me. And I'm getting better at knowing what I'm talking about and that's why I show you guys observation. I will never tell you guys what to think. I don't care who tells me to tell you that. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't care if I think you're dead wrong. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I'm going to tell you, hey, this is what I believe, and this is how I got there, and here's both sides of it. Look at both sides of it, and make up your own mind. You see what I'm getting at, guys? You guys are smart enough to know what you guys believe. I don't have to tell you what to believe. I don't. And it's unfortunate that there's people out there that want to tell you what to believe. And like they're the only ones that have the real answers. Because it's not the truth. The ones that are telling you guys that, you might want to run from. Just saying. Because they will do nothing but bring negativity to you. Because as soon as you step out of what they think is right, they're going to attack you too. I promise. I've seen it happen so many times. Just saying. But, yeah, broken screen days. That's right. Guys, I was trying to get, if anybody out there that knows who Michael Sproul is, he bought me the computer I'm doing this live stream on. When I first started my channel years ago. I was doing all my stuff on my phone. You guys know that. I've been trying to get a hold of him and I can't. So I don't know what road to go down. But if anybody knows who Michael Sproul is, some of you guys might remember him from the old WSO days. When WSO was doing his channel a lot. And that's how I got in contact with Michael. And if anybody knows how to get to him, please let me know. Email me. I would really like to talk to him again. Just because I want to check on him. That's it. No other reason. So yeah. But that's what it is, guys. So I'm not going to sit here and keep going on and on and on. I've done that enough. And again, how long have I been going? Hour and 13. So yeah, I'm probably going to go ahead and cut this live stream because I do need to get off of here. But, and again, I get it. I mean, you could tell when I started getting into the slowing down. See, look at the numbers, how they fall off real quick. That's what happens, and I get it. Because people are here for space weather, right? I understand. I do. I really do. I don't think that I don't, because I do. I get it. I really do. Ask me if I get it. Yeah, I get it. Just saying. Oh, anyway. But I do appreciate all my mods. All you guys are the best people in the world. Best family in the world. Go sub up to Mark too, guys. Mark Pires. You got to know that that's my brother. So y'all know that. Always 100% support what he's doing. Never going to be any different. He could probably punch me in the nutsack and I probably wouldn't care. I'd still be his brother. Just saying. Sorry about the use of words there if I'd offended anybody. I did work in a factory for 20 years, if that makes any difference. Hey, Rippy! Go sub up to Rippy, too. Rip Curl Readiness. Guys, go check him out. Go check him out. And again, guys, always look for the timestamp, because I am going to put in the timestamp in every one of my videos where you guys can skip past the intro or skip straight to the space weather update if you guys want that. Okay? Because I get it. Sometimes you just don't have the time. I understand. So I'm trying to make it as accessible as I can to everybody, but I don't want to lose the connection I've got with you guys, and I won't. That's something I'm not willing to give up. I'm just not. Can I show the filament again? Yes, I can. Hey, Anna. Good to see you. I can show you the filament again. Let's find, I think it's here. Yep. Right here. Let's go here. This is, Anna, I'm assuming you kind of just got here. Or maybe you've been here for a minute. I'm not sure. I've been really watching the chat a whole lot. This filament here is the same one that was way over here on the side that was standing up real tall. It's just now right in front of us. It does look like it might be getting ready to snap right in the middle. Now, when that thing does break, because it probably will, because it's standing up quite tall right now, it could fall back down to the sun, or it could erupt out. We just don't know. But we'll have to just pay attention and watch it. The one thing I will say, if it does go ahead and snap out this way instead of falling back to the surface, it would most likely be coming our direction. So, that's okay, lower class. We got you. I know. But yeah. What's unusual, Ricky? I missed it. Sorry. Where you at? Let me go back and see if I got what you said. Yeah, it is. You're right, Ricky. I know what you're talking about now. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It's a passion. People get on one thing. You're welcome, Anna. You get on a subject and you find it interesting, right? And we can all go through our start stories and all that. Hey, Chewy, what's up? Heidi, what's happening? Joanna, see you later. Or is Heidi leaving? I'm not sure. Good night, whoever's leaving. Yeah, Omni, for sure. Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah. I'm telling you. Hey, Jackie, what's up? Body and soul in a hizzy? Always good to see you. Always good. Guys, and it's like I say, when I get off stream, I feel bad when I don't mention somebody that's talking in the chat. It does really become extremely hard to mention everybody. But what I want you guys to understand, every one of you guys means something. Okay? And that's why I care. And that's really where it's at. Good night, Heidi. And like I said, I've said this 1,000 times already, but I would have shut my channel down a long time ago if I hadn't had connection. And that's the God's honest truth. Because I can continue learning about space weather without putting it out here like this. Because I'm in my learning process. You guys know that. I'm just taking you guys with me. That's what it is. And I leave my mistakes there. Go watch some of my earlier videos. You'll see. You'll see them. And I struggled with leaving those up for one reason. Because I didn't want somebody to come along later and look at that and think what I said was 100% true. Right? But then I also looked at it, well, if they do think that's 100% true, they might come back and watch, and I can correct them and let them see that I made a mistake. And that will let them know that, hey, it's okay. It's okay to make a mistake. Because you're going to learn. You're not going to forget it if you make a mistake and learn from it. You will always remember that. And that's how you have to look at it. And that goes just life in general, I think. This is my opinion. You know, when I make a mistake, you know, no matter what somebody's telling you on the surface, if you make a mistake out in the open, it's most likely going to embarrass you just at least a little bit, right? Because we can all sit here, I don't care what people think about me. Well, we probably don't for the most part. But there is a little bit there that's like, man, I made a mistake out in front of everybody. Whoa. You know, and that does hit you a little bit, and it makes you remember what the right answer is. So you will never make that mistake again. If you care. I mean, you know. Moving your home and business? Oh, wow. Colorado to Mexico. Wow. That's a big move. Big move. Well, good luck with that. That's a chore. Wow. Hey, Fly Girl. Well, I appreciate that, Omni, and it really is. Hey, Tommy. Sun quakes? No, I haven't really heard a whole lot about that. You know, I'm not sure if you're talking about quakes on the sun or if you're talking about quakes here that are caused from the sun or whatever. Hey, Russell, what's up? Good to see you, bud. But yeah, I mean, you know, the sun isn't a rock, so I don't know if it has quakes. I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't even know what that is, Julie. That's a good question. I don't know. He dropped something there I don't know nothing about. On the sun. Wow. Because the sun is not a rock. Yeah. That's why it's able to spin faster at the equator than what it does on the poles. So, I've never even seen anything about that, Tom. That's something to look into for sure. Interesting. I'll check that out, see what that's about. Very interesting. Now I know that, you know, we talk about space weather effect on Earth, how it could affect earthquakes here. And I know that, you know, and again, guys, I have to tell you, it's just a personal belief of mine. And I know that there's a lot of people that do believe that space weather affects, and there's a lot of science behind it now. But there's not like an accepted science saying that space weather affects earthquakes. That's something that's still rather new. You know, if you think about it, just a typical data collection for space weather really didn't start until halfway through last century. Okay, we just didn't have the means to do that, so it hasn't been around all that long. So, yeah, yeah. But I am going to go ahead and end the stream, guys. It's getting kind of long here. I've noticed that people, you know, if it's much more over an hour or so, they don't even click on it. So, and I get it. I do. But I just want you guys to know, anybody that swung through, I will always leave a timestamp for the space weather. Iron is on the sun. Yep. That's a solid. Yeah, but it's moving all the time. There's iron on the sun, but it's liquid iron. It's not solid. But yeah, yeah. It's definitely something to look into. I could be completely wrong on that too, Tom. I know absolutely nothing about sunquakes, if that is a thing. Like I said, I'll look into it. It's definitely interesting. But yeah, guys, I am going to go ahead and get on out of here. Love all you guys. God bless. Yahusha saves, and you can